tonight. I'm so excited for you to be here to be a part of the SS show where we are going to talk about mass incarceration in the Black community. And I would like to have our first guest come up. Kim?
Okay, my name is Kimberly Annette Simmons Woodson. If you look up Kimberly Annette Simmons, Google, you're gonna see first-degree felony murder. You're gonna see at the age of 17, while pregnant, myself and my co-defendants decided to get back at someone. I was never at the scene of the crime. I merely had a conversation. But that was enough for Michigan to lock me up for the rest of my life. At 17, they charged me with first-degree murder, 6 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of arson of a dwelling house. They waited till my 18th birthday. They started my trial. It was one of those quickies, whatever you pay, no, 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 yes, yes, yes. How do you plead? Guilty, sent her off to die. Let that sink in. I wasn't old enough to vote. I wasn't old enough to drink. I could not sign a contract, nor could I legally live out my mother's house unless I had been emancipated. But I was old enough for you to look me in the face and say, you are going to die in prison. But God, I'm standing here. And as you can see, I'm rocking a shirt that says, Redeeming Kimberly. Remember that. See, because when they let me out, they let out a warrior. They let out a survivor. They let out somebody that went into prison and was hungry for knowledge. I wanted every and anything I can get. Why? Because I realized that the system was broken then at a teenage age. And I knew that somehow my God will give me the opportunity to be able to stand in a position to be before you and countless other faces to say, let's stand up and fight now. Let's do something about this now. Let's not let another Black child blood be on the street because a cop reacted out of protocol but got away. Let's not let another one of our children get locked away with no kind of education, with no counseling, with nothing whatsoever but to be with a lot of other hardened criminals that's going to influence our babies to either become predators or they girlfriend. We don't want that for our children. So today, I come before you to share my mistakes, to tell you that there is life after a mistake. But what was unjust in my whole situation, because I never ever not say that I'm not sorry for the person who died. I still cry sometimes for that family. I still realize that even at 17, I was wrong. However, the system failed me long before that point. When I was being molested, they wasn't there. When my mama almost died, they wasn't there. When we had to make decisions about the light or the heat, they wasn't there. But they hurried up and put handcuffs on me and said, you will never, ever get out. Imagine that. How old are you, young man? Can you imagine somebody telling you that you're going to prison and you're never going home again? Can you, at your age, can you imagine that? You can? And I bless you and I thank you for being here, because it's a powerful statement to stand together and fight. And that's what I want all of us to do. I'm here to shock your conscience. I'm here to make you see that enough is enough. There's more solutions than just saying lock you up and throw away the key. Somebody should have put their arms around me and said, what is wrong? Why are you hurting, little girl? Why are you lashing out? No, they did not. your grades are slipping. I went from a 4.0 to all Fs one semester. Did they wonder why? They didn't care that at 16 my uncle had brutally raped me. They didn't care about that. All they cared about is that at the wrong time, in the right circumstances, I did not stand up and say, that's too much. Is it right? No, it's not. But what I can say, that I formed Redeeming Kimberly because I want to be the resource to those that's coming home. I want to be the voice for the voiceless. I want to go into our schools and teach our children how to have healthy self-esteems, how to not succumb to the wrong type of peer pressure, how to not to bully people or to resolve conflict in a manner that's conducive to us surviving and striving together and not being torn apart. See, I was pregnant. I mentioned that. I gave birth to a daughter, and I was going to give her up for adoption, and my mother said no. My handicapped mother took in my only child because she wanted me to have that. And that's what saved my life. That's what gave me purpose in prison. I knew that I could not be a mom physically at home, but I felt like if I strive to be the best that I can be and to give her something that she can follow, an example she can lead. My baby had her father and her mom in prison. Do y'all know the statistics of a child is that they have one incarcerated parent? It's 50% chance of them being incarcerated themselves. My child has never seen the inside of a jail. Awesome. She is a college graduate. I owed it to her and everyone that's coming up behind her to do better because I now knew better. And I'm giving you the same conscious awareness tonight. You now know better, so now we have to do better. Are you gonna fight with me? Because if you're not with me, you're not for me. But I need you to be with me because I have to have the village.
Okay, let's give it up for Kimberly Woodson. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that story. That wasn't an easy thing to do. Do you guys, when we do 29 years and can come home and still want to motivate and help some people, that's when you're winning. Because each one teach one. And we have to get that mindset. Each one teach one. And this is a non-judgmental zone, and we're not judging because we all have did something wrong. I was just talking to my sister the other day. The only reason why I didn't do jail time, I just didn't get caught doing what I was doing. And I guarantee you every last one of us have did something where we should have been behind the bars. And I'm going to give you an example. I had a friend work at Kmart, boy, Christmas time, had my $22 and my $1,000 worth of toys. It's through the grace of God, we all have did something. So we cannot judge anyone. We're going to call our next guest up, James Hill. Come on, James Hill. Mr. James Hill, he has a story to share. Thank you so much for being here, James.
All right, thank you. I'm going to start in the tradition of our ancestors as I give praise to the Creator, to the Almighty God first, so that my tongue may be guided where I could benefit somebody here, not just make some noise, okay? I'm James Hill. I'm 69 years old. I just spent over 40 years in prison. This last stretch was 30 straight. I was scheduled to die in prison. I had 50 to 100 years. And after that, I started on a life. Now, I mean, how crazy is that, okay? So when I turned 98 years old, I could start doing the life bit, so I was scheduled to die. My crimes were really high misdemeanor and low felony. But I was what you call a habitual offender. I grew up, I really raised myself to manhood on the streets of Detroit from age 14. So you can imagine I was a car wreck waiting to happen. In fact, as I tell you the story, you'll find that I am a PhD, and that means phenomenally dumb. I don't even know how God saved me to get me out of the mess I was in. Okay, one thing about being alienated from your true self is you take pride in the foolishness that you do and would even kill somebody if they tried to say it wasn't real, okay? So I went to prison with this mindset out my mind. And nowadays, you know, like since there's no real mental health hospitals, that you don't know how many people that's just insane walking the yard with you. So yes, I know it's a lot of mothers here, parents that got people in prison. I don't mean to scare you, and I'm really solution driven. I'm gonna talk about the solutions, but to really understand the solutions, you need to understand what the problem is. You know, the madness that our people is mired in when they go to prison. See, I went with that mindset, you know, when you think it's like the behavior, your conduct is really based upon how you see yourself. I saw myself as a gangster. So I did as I thought gangsters would do. It wasn't the situation that I was responding to. It was the situation transformed by the image I had in my mind. So, you know, if you looked at me hard enough, what gangsters do? You understand?
Back hard.
I mean, you ain't even got to say nothing wrong to me. You've been looking at me. What is you looking at me for? And it's on. Because, you know, naturally what's going to come behind that, oh, bitch, motherfucker. You understand? I mean, this is prison, so I'm going to get raw up here. Can I be real? Okay. So you come into prison with that mindset, so you know you got to be harder than hard. Especially I was real young when I came in. I came in as a teenager. I got these funny colored eyes, and they had a lot of predators there. So I was a candidate. So I know that the only way I could survive is I had to be crazier than the crazy one. And we had this thing that it's about first with the most. That's who win. So if you come at me with a knife or whatever you come at me with, a bat, whatever it is, I got to hit you first and I got to hit you the most in order for me to prevail. So this is that mindset. And so you grow into where you get locked into this mindset because it's your reality every day. And you see people getting stabbed on the yard, meat wagon running around. We butcher each other on that prison yard. Because you got guys trying to be tough, then you got guys that's really crazy. Okay? Then you don't know which one, who is what. So you paranoid. That's your only defense. It ain't that you sick. I call it adaptive awareness. You walk around watching. I had knives all over the yard because they shake you down. So you can't get caught with it because you get locked up. So everywhere you sit where there's a metal act, because they got metal detectors, I had knives. I had it up in other people's doors. And so whatever happened, all I got to do is reach and grab my knife. And that was my whole mentality about how to hurt somebody, how to disable somebody, to survive. That was the living hell I was in. So when I got out after the first bit, 10 years, what kind of mindset you think I was in? I was still locked into that self-alienation, that foolishness. So when I came back to the community, I was a threat to my community because of my mindset. And I thought I was right. You understand? Okay, I ended up with some murder cases. Okay, I beat them. I thought I was cool. There's a law of reciprocity. Whatever you do, you're going to pay for it. It's going to come back. We'll go around, come around. Your ass going to pay for it, okay? You might think you didn't got to wait. And I thought so. So when I got busted with them guns and some dope, just a little bit, the most I was facing ordinarily was 5 years. 50 to 100, and life running wild. So how you think I entered prison? What kind of mentality you think I came in there with? You know, when you think you ain't got no out, you're not going home, how you think you think? You know, I mean, life is not really valuable since yours wasn't, you know. But I got sick. God have a way of setting you down, you know, when you're really out of pocket. I got sick. I caught a hyperactive thyroid problem. They told me, well, you'll be going to the hospital. That was like on the Thursday, Monday, you'll be going to the hospital to get treatment. Monday passed 8 times. I looked like a skeleton, okay? I'm talking about I was dying. My thyroid had swollen. I couldn't breathe. Well, if you've ever been on your deathbed, you pray most earnestly then than you ever did. And you go to trying to make all kind of deals with God. God, just let me live. Restore my health. I'd be like, you know, I went through all that because I saw my life pass before me. I saw all the things I thought that was super slick. Entourage, eager to please women, all kind of friends. Got his bags of dope and money, you know, going to exotic places and riding the cars. I thought this was the stuff here. And I thought I was slick as sliced bread. So, I mean, you can tell me nothing different because you might get hurt because I was locked into that mindset. All right? So I'm sitting on my deathbed, and for the first time in my life, I discovered that my life amounted to 0. I left no legacy for my children where they'd be proud of and could benefit from. Okay? I couldn't die like that. So I prayed to God. bam, they come get me and took me back. I restored my health and all that. I remember scripture in Ecclesiastes about how God don't suffer fools. Once you make that vow that you don't live up to it, okay, your ass out. Okay, so I believe that. And all that I've been through, all the tough stuff, when you humbled on your deathbed, I believe that. So I strive to do that. So I had to start where I was at in prison. What am I good at? The only thing I ever did was ran the streets. Everything I did was in the underground economy. What am I good at? Well, I'm good at the streets. Well, what value is that? Well, that's the greatest thing that we need is solutions to the street. And those that's closest to the problem is closest to the solution. Okay, Amen. So now I got to put my mind on knowing the mentality of how messed up we is. How do we correct this mess? Starting here in prison. So what we start to researching and reading and doing things, we come up with that we need some mediation centers in here. We need to be able to communicate with each other to stop lying. What really got me is I was in line with a guy. We going in line, coming back from Charlie, going to Charlie, and all of a sudden somebody come behind me, moved me out the way and stuck him in the neck, blood skeeting everywhere. I'm like, oh man, all on me. Boy died. We come to find out he was the wrong one. It was misidentification. Somebody sent the man to kill the man and just gave a general description, and that's what he killed, that general description. Okay? I mean, this is the kind of tragedy that's happening that you don't never hear about in prison. Okay? So they don't tell you much. Every now and then they'll talk about somebody, but they don't tell you much. But now, so we went to work, me and a group of other like-minded brothers. We went to work on what solutions can we bring. We're tired of talking about the problem. So we decided, and we sent proposals out. Found after 2 years people would come and we want to help build conflict resolution and teach these classes and so forth, you know. And they came in and said, but you know, these guys is really hard and a lot of them ain't gonna be interested. So my job was to make sure that I organize all the leaders. Leaders of religious groups, leaders of the bikers, any leader, I had to organize them. I had to get them to buy into the system, because once they buy into it, the rest of the population did. Right now, we're up in 9 different prisons with mediation centers that's completely ran by prisoners, okay? We got credibility because we got guys with street creds that sit on the mediation panel. So we dropped the violence in the prison by 40%. We have to first get together, find our purpose as a community. You know, we should have a vision, and then we should go at power. All power simply means is the ability to make things happen. Do you need to make anything happen in your life? Hell yeah. Okay, I know I do. You see? So what I'm saying is, starting tonight, anybody that got somebody in prison, we need to get together and formulate some strategy, even if we ain't got no money, you know, but what we do have, you know, we got heart, we got energy, yes. And we bring commitment to the table, it's gonna take care of itself. Thank you.
Hello, let's give it up for Mr. James Hill. I'm sure you motivated somebody today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you guys can feel the energy, the love, and the unity that's here tonight. Because my family has been affected also. We all have someone. And tonight we here to inspire and motivate anybody that is going through or have been through. Next, we're going to bring up Miss Eisha Branner. Please come up. Thank you so much.
Hello. My story is a lot different. I've never been in prison, but I had a husband that did 7 years in prison. I met him 2005. By 2006, he was being shipped off. Very young, about 21 when he left. I did not plan on waiting for him at all. I was young. I already had 2 very young daughters, 3 and 2, well, 3 and 1 at the time. So he goes off to prison. We get connected. He went to prison for a drug charge or whatever. And it was something about him that made me say, you know what? I'm a hang around and be his friend and whatnot. But that went along for a couple months, kind of drifted off. But the thing of it was, with me and my husband was in prison, I was kind of scared to wait around because it was a challenge. You know, you got phone calls back in the day. The calls was $9 a call. I think at that time it was $9 a minute or a call, $9 for 15 minutes. I was on Section 8, did not have a job. I mean, it was a struggle. But I knew at the time when he was in prison, I couldn't leave him like that. So I waited around. They moved him. I think he was in Macomb at the time. That was like a 45-minute ride, which was, I started complaining on that because I barely had a car at the time. So probably about 5 months into prison, they sent him 5.5 hours away. He was there for 3 years at a prison. At that time, I'm like, okay, this is a test. I had to try to figure it out. Now this time, we've been probably almost 2 years. When I met him, it was just, like I said, it was something about him, but we just motivated each other. If you got somebody in prison, or if you dating somebody, if you believe in that person, don't listen to what nobody is saying, because honestly, in my situation, when he went, his like the guy said, his mentality was, I'm gonna get out here, I'm gonna sell more drugs. I said, no, you're not. You're gonna put something to use. He wrote a book in there, and we just motivated each other. It was like, I found out what I was really good at. When I got with him, I was getting my criminal justice degree, and I learned that system. And then being with a guy in prison, it showed me that, no, I can't be on that side of the fence. I gotta be over here where I'm motivating my black men. And I gotta be on here where I'm motivating, at the time, my brother was in prison, my husband was in prison, my daughter's father went to prison. I'm like, what the hell? Like it was stressful in the way that they treated them and the families who was coming to support them. I had changed my whole degree around. Like literally, I'm like, no, I gotta be on a situation where I'm able to help and motivate. And like I said, even after the time, as soon as he got home, it was like, boom, we're moving. He got a business. He is doing amazing. And because of him opening that door, because of him coming home and doing what he's doing, he opened the door for me. I have a mentoring program that I run. I work for the Sheriff Pal program. Just got my master's degree. We got 6 kids at home and a dog.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So it's definitely, I mean, I know a lot of people like, oh, he in prison, he don't know. Hanging there, even if it's just saying, hey, keep it going, encourage them. They be needing that little stuff. My husband came out like he was God compared to how I treated him, because I didn't want him to think that you was nothing more, nothing less than what they making you feel like in there. And that helped, so.
Thank you so much. This was awesome. What you think, guys? So I did get several calls asking about a part 2. I had a young lady call me, well, not young, but from Detroit. She wanted to talk tonight. Her son was killed in prison, and she said, I just have to get myself together. So I think that if you guys are interested, like we have the Liberation Team, let's start a movement here in Pontiac. And I want to thank you for coming out tonight. And we definitely gonna have a part 2. Please like the page. And I want y'all to, some of y'all already heard, but we're gonna play my little jingle. We got our own music going, Bryant. And I want y'all to vote and tell me what y'all like, okay? You know? I'm gonna leave a legacy. Clap your hands, please. I'm gonna leave a legacy. We're gonna leave a legacy, okay? SOS, yes, SOS. SOS, yes, SOS. I'ma leave a legacy.